you moved here on F1 visa.
I moved here on F1 visa.
And how did let's just quickly talk about the visa journey that you went through. So you came to Stanford on F1 visa, and then what you did after that.
Yeah, I remember that the first actually trouble with visa came precisely because of how I was going to pay for my MBA.
Right.
Because if I remember correctly, and you might be more current than me on this, you actually have to give a proof of funds.
Yes.
In order to get the visa or something, which I didn't have.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for my scholarship.
Yeah.
To get announced and then explain to the foundation that I needed the letter of funds from the bank so I could get my visa. And I remember that process has been incredibly frustrating.
Right.
Even before I arrived here.
Yeah.
What was interesting is that I started identified while I was in Stanford, so my second year, and I incorporated the company. I started hiring people, all Americans.
Yeah.
And then I realized I couldn't work in the company.
Yes. So I had to ask how.
And I was like, oh, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So I can start this.
Yes.
But I cannot work on it.
Yes, you cannot get paid.
So I cannot get paid. So I'm like, that's inconvenient.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And it was hard. I basically had to. So I knew that right after Stanford, the F1, I had the OPT period. But the OPT period is not designed to work full time in your startup. It's not something you can do.
Right.
So that didn't work for me. And what I needed to do is do a separate H-1B visa application in order to hire myself in my company.
Yes.
But I don't know how it works right now.
Yeah.
I remember that back then there were very specific requirements, such as, your role has to match the skill sets that you studied for in the US.
Still
and
the same.
We need to post your job in newspapers.
Yes.
Before a certain number of time before you come in here. I'm like, wait a minute here. So I founded the company. I do everything.
Yeah.
I code, I design, I fundraise, I do all these things.
Yeah.
But I cannot be hired for that. I have to be hired for something related to my MBA.
Yes.
And I have to publicize my job.
Right.
Before I can hire myself.
Yes.
To my company.
And pay myself.
In which I cannot work.
Yeah.
This is getting really confusing.
Right.
And I have a minimum salary that is way too high for what my company can pay me.
Yes.
I'm like, this is a headache. And thankfully, Stanford had good resources.
Yes.
And through the Bechtel International Center, I got connected to a lawyer, Malcolm, that's still my immigration lawyer to this day, who helped me navigate that process. And I ended up with an H-1B being hired by my own company.
Yes.
And the process was so painful and also so isolating in the sense that at that time unidentified, everyone else was American.
Yes.
So no one could understand why I was spending so much time and energy on this. And the uncertainty of, I literally don't know if I'm going to be able to work on my company.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I have to move back to Spain. This is awful. And I didn't really had friends in the same situation. There was no community or plug and play plan of, hey, here you are, which is why I think what you're doing is really, really useful. And I wish I had that resource back then. And right as the process was finished, which took a lot, immediately my lawyer told me, hey, your company has sold, it's been a big success, you have started another company, you might qualify for this alien of extraordinary ability section. I was like, wait, what? That sounds like Superman. The alien of extraordinary ability.
Yeah.
They're like, it's the process we have for people that, have had accomplishments in their field that we want in this country. So I was like, oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
It has a really weird name, but if it's helpful, please, yes. So then I immediately started that process, and I believe a year later, I was granted my green card.